Did you know the drills that you do on a regular basis in training could be doing more damage than good? And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the drills that you do and how you can use them to your advantage to make you a better and faster swimmer. You see, I think it's a really under-talked about issue how badly drills are presented to a lot of young swimmers in the world. They're given no focus, no direction, and we do them without knowing the most important thing. Why? If drills are given in this way, they will actually end up making negative habits in strokes instead of positive ones, or just make no difference whatsoever. And I remember as a young swimmer, as a young age group club swimmer, I was doing this on a regular basis, doing poor drills without any sort of specific reason. I also see it in loads of clubs I visit around the world, and I like to try and educate people to be better on these things. So if you're a swimmer or coach watching this video who is doing drills without any real purpose, make sure you watch this video to the end, because I think there could be a lot to learn. In today's video, I'm going to take you through 5 fundamental things for when it comes to doing drills. And the very first one of these is to have a clear and defined purpose of what the drill is trying to achieve. There should be no drill that you give to your swimmers because you simply remember doing it at some point during your childhood, or that you saw an Instagram video of some world-class Olympic champion swimmer doing it with beautiful technique. The drill should be specific to the individual swimmers in front of you, and you should be defining and explaining the purposes to them. If you're a swimmer, you must know why you're doing a drill. A drill can do a lot of things. It can be as simple as something that's trying to bring identification to your body position when swimming a particular stroke, or it can be done to isolate one small, minute part of a particular swimming discipline. For example, say on freestyle, you really want to work on the catch and the pull phase of the freestyle stroke. And a drill I really like for that would be single arm freestyle drill with an underwater recovery. By doing this drill, you are isolating just the one component that you want to work on. You're not worrying about your kick, your head position, your breathing, even the recovery is going to be completely non-existent. And you're just going to think about having your hand in front of you in the water, extended forwards, and just work on that initial catch and that pull phase through finishing at the back of the stroke. You can then develop drills to add extra elements. So you can then add the recovery, and then you can add the breathing back in, and then you can add the second arm back in, and then you can add it all into a one stroke. But the most, and as I said, I'm just going to reiterate this point, the most fundamental point of drilling is to have a clear, defined purpose. You can do anything as a drill as long as it makes sense to you and how it is going to improve and focus on a part of the stroke that needs working on. My second point that I think is absolutely essential when it comes to drilling is to use equipment. Now, drilling can be really difficult, and that's not the point. The point is not to make this a hard exercise. It's made to have skill, control, and focus. So let's take back that drill I mentioned before, that single arm freestyle drill that I like so much. Now, you can do that without any equipment. Instead of isolating the catch and the pull that I've said is the purpose of the drill, you're going to be spending a lot of time trying to get a breath in, which is going to pull your body position out of alignment and not help you emphasize that early vertical forearm catch. Also, you're going to be thinking about trying to support your body with your kicking, because you're not going to have much propulsion because you're only using one arm and you're only going to be pulling every, say, 10-15 seconds. There's going to be a lot of pressure on your legs. Now, if you're not all out kicking without fins, you're going to be sinking, which again is going to take away from the main purpose of the drill. So for that drill in particular, I would say put a snorkel on. A snorkel is going to be essential for a lot of drills, especially for freestyle and butterfly drills. Obviously not so much for breaststroke and backstroke drills, but for a drill like that, you put the snorkel on and it completely takes away the breathing element of this drill. Then you can focus on getting your head in a great alignment and position for the drill and focus on the catch. Then by putting on a pair of fins and some great short fins like the ones I have in my hand are going to be brilliant for these drills. you can kick a little bit more relaxed while still maintaining a high body position. Again, allowing you to focus on the purpose of the drill, the catch and the pull. Doing this drill without the snorkel and fins is just going to make this way harder than it needs to be. And after you've introduced this drill and maybe taken mastery of this drill, you can increase the difficulty by taking the fins off, making you have to work your legs a little bit more, and then by finally taking the snorkel off so that you have to find a way to sneak the breath in while still maintaining great mastery of the catch and the pull, which is essential to be able to do while breathing. But while you're trying to be basic and introduce this drill, using the equipment is essential. And I see a lot, especially with young age group swimmers. I saw this the other day while I was swimming in public and a club were training at the same time, doing a very highly complicated drill, one that I see often posted by people like Ben Proud, the elevated arm drill for sprint freestyle. And they were doing it without fins and snorkel. Even Ben Proud does it with fins and snorkels. And these age groupers were doing actual damage to their technique. Their hips were all over the place, their body position was out of alignment, and they weren't really working on what the main purpose of the drill was. Use your equipment, do drills well, do them with focus, skill and control, and if you do master them, you can make them complicated by changing the equipment you use. I even like adding a little bit of resistance to really hyper focus a drill. So I wouldn't even say that single arm drill could be done with like a light resistance, like a loofah, along with the snorkel and fin, just so that little bit of resistance really helps you initiate the catch well. The third point for when it comes to doing great drills is not to rush them, to take your time and not just let them be an afterthought. I see drills often thrown in at the end of a 5-6K aerobic session when everyone's physically tired and they just want to get out and go home and be brain dead, and then they're thrown 10-50 drills off a minute where they're not really focusing on anything and just again enforcing bad habits. That also takes me to my fourth point, which is to do smaller repetitions of drills. Again, there's nothing worse than just doing 1,000 drills or 5 200s drills with minimal rest and no feedback. If you're introducing a new drill and doing a drill for the first time, you only really want to go 25 maximum distance, and then talk to your coach, get some feedback, make sure you're doing the drill right, and then maybe you can go 25s or 50s for a few reps. But the whole point should be very communicative, and if you're just doing long up and down swimming of drills, you're not really doing it with the intent, the focus, or the collaboration with your coach that's needed. On top of that, drills can be quite taxing. So if you're doing long, high volume of drills where you're maybe doing an elevated arm drill where one arm's out the water, one arm's out in front, you're kicking quite hard, you've got fins, and you're working on a high body position, if you're smashing 200s of them out, by the end of it, you're not going to be kicking very hard, you're going to be low in the water and not doing the things that the whole purpose of the drill was for. So again, I think 25s and 50s are often the sweet spot for drills. I think they go better in warm-ups, and it's important that you take your time, maybe don't ever go on a turnaround for drills. Turnarounds for drills that seem silly because you might need to really reset the mind. You really might need to talk to your coach. And if you're putting a small turnaround on the drills, then you're not going to be doing it with the quality needed to shine. My final point today, point number 5, is that it's important that whenever you do drills, you transfer the skill that you've worked on into perfect swimming. Now, if you hit 650s of the highest quality drill, freestyle drill say, then went into 6 100s off of short rest turnaround where you're panicking, rushing, then a lot of the skills you've just developed are probably from the second rep going to be completely lost. And for that reason, I think it's important that you do some drills, and then whatever the specific design of the drill was meant to be working on. So let's talk about that single arm freestyle drill we talked about earlier, thinking about the underwater pull and the early vertical forearm catch. You want to go into some perfect swimming where you're reiterating that, maybe going some stroke count with a lot of rest. I also think it's underestimated how often people do just perfect, high quality swimming as a drill, as a way to work on the things you need to work on. And actually something I love doing before I go a really high top end speed sprint session is maybe go 6 or 8 25s off of about 1 minute 30. I think about every single element of my technique, holding water, swimming perfectly, and then I notice that when I do my sprints, a lot of them things I was working on, I still do when I swim. So transfer the drills into swimming, hold the technique and the skill points you're working on, and sometimes just practice perfect technique as if it was a drill. Drills are vital because technique is so important to how fast you can swim. Without good technique, your performance will be forever bottlenecked. I should also mention that things like core strength and mobility play a pivotal role in your technique. I also think that all sessions should be fun, engaging, so that you focus on your swimming. And if you're doing regular boring sessions where your mind goes adrift, you can often find yourself not thinking about the small details that will make you a better swimmer. I hope this video has opened your eyes a little bit and gave you some extra focus and inspiration for when it comes to your next drill session, and therefore you can become a better and more technically able swimmer. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to make so much more swimming content for you, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.